We are here again with Derby special coverage on these match days. On next match days, Beşiktaş and Fenerbahçe will play a huge game, a huge derby. There are 10 match weeks to go, match days to go. This game is even more important than previous Beşiktaş-Fenerbahçe derbies because after uh, for after some years it is almost after 10 or 5 years later that Fenerbahçe and Beşiktaş both both teams have championship claim. They have possibility to win this championship, and they are between them. There is Galatasaray in second place. So after years, it is happening for first time, and the game importance of game will be huge, especially for Fenerbahçe, because if they lose, if they loses, if they lose, they don't uh, can come back. They don't come back. They wouldn't come back, even though this year is longest Turkish football Super League year in history since last year. That after Corona, due to Corona, uh, there wasn't any team that relegated, but they accepted additional three teams more. So this year um, league is playing with 21 teams. It will be equal 40 games. 30 games has already played for each teams. As only Beşiktaş has have one game more in hand, according to Fenerbahçe, because every team have some week off, and Beşiktaş passed this week. I think Fenerbahçe was heavy favorite of year. In preseason, Fenerbahçe was heavy favorite of this year, even though they got some speculative transfers, and they got many transfers, and with many costs. They they build it they built their team up again, and as name they contracted with many players. They were full of confidence, they were full of expectations, and in the beginning of the year nobody would think that Beşiktaş can be front runner when 10 weeks to go, even though moreover Beşiktaş started really bad. In first 6, 7, 8 weeks Beşiktaş had lost many games. They even didn't win. Maybe if they win couple of games or just a single game. They had started like one of worst startings in their whole history, and I don't think coach of Beşiktaş, who is Sergen Yalçın, he didn't mind European League elimination, because he knew that if you want to stay in charge in Turkey as one of three biggest teams, especially in last couple of years, you need to go ahead. You need to stay in fight, in just local leagues, especially in Turkish league. Even you can get eliminated, Turkish Cup. It doesn't matter, but Beşiktaş is in semi-final now in Turkish Cup also. I think he he was an ex legend football player. He was ex Beşiktaş player, and he also played in Fenerbahçe and Galatasaray, even Trabzon. He was I think he was first football player who played four biggest teams in Turkish football history. So he knew something well, that he kept his idea, just being successful in league. Even he knew that he was really late to prepare his team, and he got their transfers really with some tardations, some retardations, and they can install their squad really late, maybe 6-7 weeks. It took 6-7 weeks that all transfers get ready, and I think their transfer plan wasn't perfect. But Fenerbahçe's transfer plan is horrible. In my opinion, also, I thought Fenerbahçe at the beginning of the season, pre-season, Fenerbahçe was my favorite, because I thought, as I know Turkish league, it was Fenerbahçe's turn, and I understood that all players are added like just for their names. There wouldn't be a good football team on the pitch, but I thought that Fenerbahçe anyway would win, because I thought anyway they had the wind there behind, and all fans were expected that they were good motivation in their equipe at the beginning, but they went fragile. They turned into a fragile team, and they have many problems in their team. If Fenerbahçe loses, and even though Fenerbahçe get a draw or get a win, Fenerbahçe can lose the game, can lose the whole season from now on. So I will make a special program why Fenerbahçe will not be champion. I think most majority of season, all duration, this time, all time, Fenerbahçe was heavy favorite, and Fenerbahçe got leadership. Fenerbahçe in the first part of season, Fenerbahçe got maybe 5, 6, 7 points clear, and everybody said Fenerbahçe can unstoppable. Nobody can beat Fenerbahçe. Fenerbahçe will be champion, breaking record. Weeks and weeks before, Fenerbahçe will get championship, but some things happened, and Fenerbahçe couldn't show this championship soul, and I will discuss it in next programs. As for game, when we come game, we will see that Fenerbahçe have many problems against teams who are closing up, who are concerned with just 1 point, who are not bothered to win, to play attacking football. So Beşiktaş has a golden opportunity which they don't need to win, they don't need to attack. But I need to say that Beşiktaş is now a complete team, because in transfer window they added also Joseph de Souza, who is an ex-Fenerbahce player also. I think he was exaggerated when he was playing in Fenerbahce. Even though I always thought that he is a good football player. He is good because his first step is fast. His ball technique, his dribbling is top of by far better than many midfielders of Turkish league. So he has energy also, and he got connected with Atiba Hutchinson, who is a veteran in league now. Who is old maybe, but nowadays in football we see a lot of older players still keep contributing their team. Even they were late, Beşiktaş became a football team, which neither Galatasaray nor Fenerbahçe couldn't do this, because they have a lot of disadvantages and there are unbalanced team. They don't have any balance. Beşiktaş can close up, and couple of games they close themselves. They can attack also. They can play good transition football. I expect we previously when we look back, flashback between two teams, we see many full of thrilling football matches and with many goals. And I expect, even though it is a tough game, it is to be done, or to continue or to be done game for Fenerbahçe. On the contrary to Fenerbahçe Galatasaray derby, I expect that derby will see many goals, as couple of previous Fenerbahçe Beşiktaş derbies, like 3-3, 3-2, and both teams will concede and make goals, in my opinion. Luis Gustavo is huge game for this derby. When I see some highlights, I didn't see all 90 minutes of each game, but Luis Gustavo is really energetic, really forceful, really he can make goals, he can feed their friends, he can organize their midfield. So since the beginning of the second season, the second part of season he didn't play. Second half of season he didn't play. He was absentee, and the previous week, even though Fenerbahçe got a huge scar, huge blow in their face, because they even didn't get a point against Gençler Birliği, which team who fights against get away from relegation zone, but they are at the bottom of the table. They were in 21st place. So it is they didn't see, Fenerbahçe team didn't see it was coming. So, but I think in any case, Fenerbahçe will react on this game. okay, it is really they are under pressure, but those Fenerbahçe Beşiktaş teams, as I repeated, teams, they when they play each other, they are getting away easily from pressure. They can be more productive. On contrary to Fenerbahçe Galatasaray games, the Fenerbahçe Galatasaray games have extra pressure on both teams and both players, and all players know it. All players know it, that extra pressure. But the media fans of Fenerbahçe were talking about that Erol Bulut, who is a Fenerbahçe coach, can get fired. During the After Fenerbahçe lost steering seat, they were out of leadership. They started to discuss about Erol Bulut's future. I think Erol Bulut kind of relieved, because anyway, I think he can complete this season, even though he will not be champion. But I see him stressful. He emulated other coaches like Sergen Yalçın, like Fatih Terim. He makes many excuses. He started make many excuses because he is talking that the war, putting lines like the offside lines are arguable for Fenerbahçe. I don't think so. I don't agree. None of coaches in Turkish league. I think our system is when you lose, you need to slander. You need to blame on referees generally, and blame on federation. Erol Bulut tried something, but I didn't. Technically, he has many problems. I think the most unsuccessful team in transfer window, both openings, preseason and in that semester, in that transfer window, in between two halves, I think Fenerbahçe get pressure unnecessarily. They bought expensive players, but they wouldn't get performance. We saw it was coming, so it gave extra pressure on coach. But I think Erol Bulut couldn't handle that pressure. I don't think Beşiktaş has a really successful team, and they don't play in the way that Leipzig play. They are not concrete team, and as much as Leverkusen, or they don't give a pleasure when you see Dortmund matches. But I think the what predicted Sergen Yalçın was, he knew just Turkish league, just staying inside of the top of Turkish table, and it was enough for continuing to job for them, for Turkish coaches. And he didn't have any pressure, even though he was bottom of the table. At bottoms of the table, they weren't in relegation zone, but he Beşiktaş coach hadn't received any pressure as much as Erol Bulut did, and he does so. So I think intelligently done by Sergen Yalçın. But improvement of Turkish league is arguable. There is only team which is Beşiktaş. They know how to be team. I think they are seated team. They know, you know, if you are a Beşiktaş fan, you can count starting 11 now, because they are already seated. You cannot count them in, you cannot starting line, you cannot tell starting line, neither in Fenerbahçe nor in Galatasaray. A lot of injuries, a lot of old players, a lot of problematic players. Really, Fenerbahçe made many transfers. Their center back, they got 5-6 center backs, including in that transfer window. They got Salai. Until him, they really put their money away. They really give their money away. They spend a lot of money, but they didn't get any effective players. Their transfers couldn't get even minute. They get injured players. I had predicted that Mesut wouldn't give huge performance, because he didn't play for 2 years, and I think the bad energy was on him. He got injured. It's a position injury. It is position injury. He got their ankle. He got his ankle strained. He got his ankle sprained. But I cannot say that any other athletic player couldn't get that injury. But he could have escaped away if he was in his form. He could avoid it, because like when you see the position, you can say it was coming. It was really slow motion position, and he got his ankle strained that way. Like, it was really slow motion. In when you see the 1960s football matches, you can say, okay, this injury will happen, will occur. I think if his physical quality was enough, he might have escaped away from that injury, even though it was touch. When you get this tackle, even though you are Cristiano Ronaldo, even though you are Ibrahimovic, you can get your ankle even broken. But it was a really slow motion position. So if he had a physical quality, he could, even if he has physical condition, which he doesn't have, unfortunately. His technical quality is undoubtedly, he has more than average. He has a technical quality more than average of Turkish football players. His technical quality undoubtedly carried him to until Real Madrid, the top of the European football. Real Madrid, even though he was sent from Real Madrid, he found opportunity to play in Arsenal, but he was never a physical quality. He had never at the best of top of the football players who have maybe a physical quality, huge physical quality, consistency. He is just when you are ready, when you carry the ball in third zone, Mesut can create some space. Mesut can be useful, but he doesn't make magics. He doesn't get past by 5 defenders and he make assists. When in a locked game, Mesut is useful. But if you have the ball, if you have as team, Fenerbahçe had many defense and offense problems. The coach might have tried some alternatives which he didn't. A coach, it's not only mission of coach just determining you are defender, you are center back, you are left back, you are right back, you are midfielder, you are striker, you are right wing, you are left wing. Sometimes something goes bad in teams, in squads. Then coach must take over. It was coming. We saw it after weeks and weeks. Fenerbahçe couldn't give good performances. Anyway, Beşiktaş started late and Galatasaray wasn't good either. They could stand top of the point table, or either they were second place. They were at second, third place, just with 5 or 6 point deficits from time to time. But it didn't mean that they were good and flawless team. They weren't flawless team. Neither president of Fenerbahçe nor coach they don't have a good team. They don't have good performance, and I think the first responsible is president. Transfer policy is more responsible than a bad managed team, which did coach. We need to charge for this coach. Anyway, I predict a good reaction from Fenerbahçe. Even though Beşiktaş can close the game, can defend easily Fenerbahçe, because if they close themselves, Fenerbahçe cannot be productive. But I don't expect, even though it might be from set pieces, dead balls, and personal mistake. I expect a goal in the very first minutes of the first half. It could be maybe 20 minutes, 21, 22, doesn't matter, but it will happen. And after a 1-0 game, we will see many positions and it will be thrilling game. I don't think Fenerbahçe can dominate, but partially can dominate 90 minutes. But it will be roller coaster game. It will go box to box. The game will be box to box game, and it will be funny. A good weekend. It is very important, but I cannot say Beşiktaş would win. I cannot say Fenerbahçe would win. It is also close to a draw, but as I expect many goals, really three possibilities. It is a really open game. I wish good luck. I wish a good football for Turkish football fans.